AC4YL. Good evening, ladies. The net will kick off in just a moment. Please stand by. AC4YL. Okay, I think we are back on and live here. This is AC4YL coming into the ALARA Conference over the NF4GA repeater that I think we got connected back up due to accidental timeout. So apologize for that. But hopefully we're back on and working here. Okay, welcome ladies to the YL OpNet. This is Catherine, AC4YL Net Control for this evening's net. We meet every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Echolink ALARA Conference node. Be sure to invite all YLs you know to join us. We do ask that only YLs or female amateur radio operators check in and participate. The purpose of this net is to encourage you to become and stay active with amateur radio, help each other improve our operating knowledge and skills, and have fun. During the net, please join us in the NFARL Do Drop In chat room by opening any web browser and going to nfarl.dodropin.org. Just put your name - call sign in the box and click log in. YLs who would like to check in, give us your call sign, name, and current location. And don't forget that there is a 3 to 4 second delay when transmitting through Echolink. This is Catherine, AC4YL. We will now begin taking check-ins. Please call now.
This is Whiskey 3 Lima Echo Oscar, Leah in Oklahoma.
To Alpha 3 Whiskey Hotel Uniform. Good evening, everybody, from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
I'm 08VG, Jenny, over here in the UK. Good morning, ladies.
This is WA4YL, Jordan, Florida.
This is KT9YL, Ann in Wisconsin.
Victor Echo 3, Bravo Hotel Golf, April in Welland, Ontario, Canada.
This is W5MQC, Michelle in Oklahoma.
This is Alpha Golf 4, Yankee Lima, from currently in Woodstock, Georgia, mobile.
Okay, we'll go ahead and go through those check-ins. So far, we have Leah, W3LEO, joining us from Oklahoma. Carol, VA3WHU, joining us from Ontario. Jenny, from 0HUZT, joining us from the UK. Dawn, WA4YL, joining us from Florida. And KC9YL, checking in from Wisconsin. April, VE3BHG, joining us from Ontario. Michelle, W5MQC, also joining us from Oklahoma, and Melanie, AC4YL, in Georgia. Okay, do we have any other YLs who would like to check in? Please call now.
This is Kilo Golf 5 Victor Golf Bravo from Dallas, Texas.
AE7MB, Margaret, Battleground, Washington.
Michigan, this is Kelly.
Okay, so we have KG5VGB joining us from Texas. Could you come back and give us your name? Back to you, KG5VGB, AC4YL, and the net.
KG5VGB, the name is Christina from Texas, Dallas, Texas. Thank you.
Okay, was that Christina? Do I have that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Christina is the name. Thank you.
Okay, very good, Christina. Thank you very much. We're glad to have you here out of Dallas, Texas this evening. We have Margaret, AE7MB, joining us from Washington, and Kelly in 9PC, joining us from Michigan. Okay, we also have Susie here with us in 8CGM from Ohio. Good evening, Susie. We're glad to have you here as well. I think that's everyone. Let me just check the list. Stand by one moment. Okay, I do also see Rita in E0DB. And good evening, Rita. Rita is in Colorado. And Lauren, KC9CHV in Illinois. So good evening to both of you as well. We're getting you added here to the list. One moment. Trying to write and talk at the same time. It's not my forte. Okay. All right. We'd also like to give a shout out to any YLs that are listening here on the Bedford, Virginia repeater, K4LYL repeater. Good evening to you. And to all OMs who are listening, we'd just like to give a shout out and say hello to you. We appreciate y'all standing by. All right. And it looks like Nisi just popped in and joined us as well, KA1ULN. So good evening, Nisi. We're glad to have you here with us as well. Nisi is out of Massachusetts. I think that is everyone. Oh, of course not. N2RJ has joined us. Rhea, good evening, Rhea. And Rhea is out of New Jersey, so good evening to you as well. All right, so to kick off the net, what I'd like to do is, Michelle doesn't mind, if you'd like to jump in here and give us the latest and greatest on the convention, ALARA Conference that you've been working hard to put together with some other folks that have helped you out. I think Judy's been helping you, and Leah, W3LEO, I think you gals have been kind of working together to get this event together. So if you'd like to come in and tell us the latest, and then if Leah has anything to add, please feel free to do so after Michelle finishes up. So W5MQC, please go ahead from AC4YL and the net.
This is W5MQC, Michelle. Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Things are getting a little crazy at this point. A lot of the work starts kicking in now that we have a full list. We have 45 YLs coming in from 22 or 23 different states and Canada. There's 25 OMs coming in with them. We've got, I think, 68 people signed up for the banquet. It's just going to be a lot of fun. And of course, right now we're having record heat, so it'll be a little warm, so I've told everybody to wear shorts. So if you're going to the convention, you should have gotten a very detailed email from me today. If you didn't get the email, please send me an email at w5mqc@yahoo.com. Right now, we're working hard on the little bags that everybody's going to get, making sure the badges are done, that they're door prize tickets and the early bird tickets and all the decorations. Leah and Judy have been handling all of the decorations. I'm not very good at that. Today, I'm going to be video recording all the sessions so that we can put them up, and I got the video intro done for that, and now we're working on some of our PowerPoint slides and putting together the audio video for it. I think we've covered a lot of what we're going to do. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Oklahoma City has this really cool thing called the Underground, and there's an underground tunnel that goes through a lot of the different districts down there, so we will be using that a lot. If anybody has any specific questions for me, feel free to ask. I will turn it back to you. This is W5MQC.
Okay, very good, Michelle. Well, thank you for that updated information. I'd like to go to Leah real quick and see if she has anything she'd like to jump in here and add, and then we'll open it up to the group for any questions about the convention for Michelle or Leah. So, Leah, please go ahead if you have anything to add. W3LEO, AC4YL on the net. Okay, perhaps Leah to step away or whatnot from the computer or device that she's connected into, so no problem. We'll go ahead and open it up to the group then here. If anybody has any questions on the ALARA convention that's coming up for Michelle, please go ahead and ask away. Okay, not hearing anyone. So, Michelle, what's the website that folks can go to for information or details? I know you've been working real hard putting together a blog and everything. For anybody that's listening, whether they can make it or not, if they'd like to check out all the details about all the hard work you gals have been putting in, what's the website they can check out there, Michelle?
This is W5MQC. The website is ylrlconvention.org. We have closed registration, especially for the banquet. I've had to turn in those numbers to the hotel so the caterers can have everything ready. But if people still want to register and come to the sessions and join some of the activities and the fun that we're going to have, I can still take more. The room can handle 100 people, so we can get 30 more ladies in there. Back to you. This is W5MQC.
Okay, very good, Michelle. Thank you for all the great information. You guys have been working very, very hard to put all that together, and it sounds like it's going to be a really exciting and successful event, and so congratulations and hats off to you for all of your hard work. I'm sure that the gals will have a great time there. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out in my schedule and budget this year, but I'm so glad that you all will be supporting those sessions, and so hopefully it'll be something of a cool information that no doubt will come across in those forums, for lack of a better term. I know that I think Rhea is going to be in there doing some speaking, and Andrea, and Carol Malazzo, I think, is coming in. So, and I think you have Val coming in, Michelle. I'll have to go back and check all the details again. It's hard to keep up. Y'all been so busy. So hats off to you and to Judy and to Leah and all the other gals that have helped work together to put this event together. So thanks so much, Michelle. We appreciate it. Okay, I'd like to open it back up to the group here now and see if anybody else has either questions for Michelle, or if you have announcements, updates, or news that you want to share with the group, especially if you're short time. Please come on in and just throw your call out there, and we'll pass the mic over to you. This is AC4YL.
And to RJ Mobile.
Well, good evening, Rhea. Please go ahead. And to RJ, AC4YL in the net.
Okay, first of all, congratulations for Michelle for all of her hard work. I know she's going to do a really good job on the convention. Looks like it's coming in super fantastic there. Now, as far as my bit in the convention, I'll be doing a talk on the digital modes on VHF and UHF, so that's like DMR, D-Star, and System Fusion. I was talking with a Yaesu rep on System Fusion, and he's given me some items to some small prizes for attendees, so I'll be giving those out as well. And also I'll be having some DMR radios courtesy of Radioddity to give out at the convention as well. We're going to have a little prize giveaway at my talk, so it's going to be an exciting time, and I'll show you how to program your radios and how everything works and the advantages and disadvantages of each one. And when you walk away, you should be able to program your own code plug for these new digital modes. I'm on DMR every day, and I have a blast. It brings activity back to dead repeaters, like I say. Back to net and to RJ Mobile.
Okay, awesome, Rhea. Well, there's no doubt that a lot of the gals are excited to hear the information that you have, and those I'm sure are excited to meet you that haven't yet, especially those on the net here that haven't had a chance to meet you face-to-face. So that's great. Thanks so much, Rhea, for jumping in. It's good to hear you, and stay safe out there on the road. So very good. Anybody else have something for the group? Please jump on in here.
This is WA4YL. Let me see if I have it.
Go ahead, Dawn. Pick it on up.
Well, today I had an exciting adventure when I was driving home from Spring Hill. Saw 10 police cars parked and yellow tape everywhere. There was a double shooting up by the Pizza Hut movie theater, not too far from where I live. So keep an eye on my PD. It might be on there. And also, if you go on to mainnews9.com, you'll see it there. It's about 7 miles from where I live. That's net control.
All right there, Dawn. Well, be real careful. Wow, goodness gracious. That's that's kind of a mess. Well, thanks so much for jumping in here, Dawn. It's good to hear you, and glad you're doing okay. All right. Let's see, what else is going on, gals? Been playing any radio. We had the IARU HF contest this past weekend, and some other major events that have happened on the air this weekend. So who was able to get on the radio? You could tell us about that, or anything up and coming for you in ham radio avenue. What's going on out your way?
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Hotel Uniform. Going to Batavia on Saturday, close to Darien Lake in New York State, Attica Prison, close to there as well. Hoping to have a nice weather for the Batavia Hamfest on Saturday.
All right, very good, Carol. Well, great. Then we look forward to hearing all about that next week and find out how that Hamfest went. Hope you guys have a good time. Be safe getting out there, and tell us all about it when you get back. Thanks, Carol. It's good to hear from you. Anybody else have something for the group this evening? Please call now, AC4YL.
Hi, it's Judy from Arizona, KE7IXI. Well, we've got heat warnings here. At this time of year, it does get pretty hot here. And our monsoon weather is in full swing. And we're doing some last-minute wrap-ups for our big class coming up next Saturday. So at the moment, we have 6 instructors, and I hope and we also have, now we have 22 people that are all signed up and excited to become new hams. So looking forward to it, and so it's so nice to hear all of you this evening. That's pretty much all that I have at the moment. Judy, K7IXI.
All right, that's awesome, Judy. That's exciting. So you'll have to tell us all about how the class goes and how the students do, and that sounds like a lot of fun. So hats off to you and everybody that's involved and volunteered to do that and is working hard. We appreciate it. So thanks so much, Judy, for sharing that, and we'll catch up next week and see how that went. All right. Just real quick, I'm going to jump in here. Melanie and I were able to, this past weekend, attend our second VE session as volunteer examiners. So we had a lot of fun doing that. We got to take the trek out to Alpharetta, which is, I don't know, it's a good 30 to 45-minute drive from the area in which we live. So it was a little trek, but well worth it. We had a lot of fun. And we actually asked, and Ian and the group, core group there, so graciously let us jump in there, and it's just a bit more than on the sidelines, so we got to jump in there and actually grade some exams and sign off on some CSCE. So everybody in the group there passed. We had a couple of folks that went ahead and took the second test for the next level up. Unfortunately, I don't think either of them that took that second upgrade test passed, but that's okay. They passed the first one. So we had one YL in the group that upgraded to general. She successfully passed, so that was awesome. So it was a lot of fun, and if you aren't familiar with the Volunteer Examiner program here in the United States, you can check that out through ARRL.org's website and learn about how to become a volunteer examiner with ARRL. There are other groups as well that you can check out. But I encourage you to do it. See how you can help out. Basically, you just read through CE manual, is what they call it. You can download it for free from ARRL, read through it. You take a little open book test, and it basically goes through what's expected from you as a volunteer examiner at the test sessions, how they work, how the paperwork works, where it goes, et cetera, and kind of the rules and regulations around that. And, it's easy to do. You attend test sessions and you help. Basically help the students get their tests, take their tests, and grade them. And it's really neat to actually be a part and sign off on somebody getting their license. I mean, you probably still have your paperwork from folks that signed off that when you achieved your obtaining your license. So encourage you to check it out, ALARA.org/volunteer-examiners. You can read all about getting involved in that program. Okay, let's open it back up to the group. Actually, let me pass it to Melanie. Did you have anything that you wanted to add about the session there or about volunteer examining at all?
Good evening. This is Melanie AG4YL. This finds everybody doing well. Well, I have to say, I was looking through some websites because last week I found an interesting thing about the FCC symbol. And of course, I can't find it now because I thought it was very interesting. It kind of broke down what all the pieces of the FCC symbol mean. The Ebola lightning bolts and everything like that, and gave an interesting little history on it. However, while I was looking for that, here we're talking about volunteer examiners, and the ARRL volunteer examiner team in Australia held their first technician test session under the new question pool, the Element 2 question pool. The question pool changed on July 1st, and I didn't know that they did this in Australia, but it talks about how VEC team in Bankstown, New South Wales, Australia, conducted the first technician test session of the new Element question pool, and I just thought that was kind of interesting. It was like, wow, how interesting that they're testing there with an ARRL VEC team in Australia to get their U.S. technician license. So kind of fun. I learned something new, digging for something else, and then you find out something new. Apparently, 2 candidates passed the tech exam and then went on to pass the general exam. So that's pretty doggone cool. I'm going to pause and let this reset. AG4YL back, and as far as the test session went, yep. So we're doing 2. Unfortunately, this coming up Saturday, I will be working, but that I think they test on the 2nd Saturday of every month out there. So it's all just a chance. It's a dice roll on whether or not I'm going to be able to go out there for another session next month. But if it all works out all right, we'll get 3 under our belt. Then we're going to go for our instructor certification, ARRL, and maybe start teaching some tech classes or something. It's really inspiring hearing everybody on the net that does this. We got 2 now. Also with us is Margaret 87MB, and of course we've talked to her several times on the net about her efforts at getting groups of YLs together to get their license. So it's very exciting, and like to kind of keep the ball rolling. It seems to be doing really well. We'll make the 3rd team getting the YLs on their tech exam. Anyway, that's all I have for now. If I can find the information later on the FCC logo, or one of you all saw the news article, it breaks down and tells the meaning of the FCC logo, and Catherine and I found it very interesting. So, for now, that's all I have. This is AG4YL, back to Net Control.
Okay, very good, Melanie. Well, thank you very much for that. We appreciate that information, and hopefully you'll be able to find that. If not, so by the end of the net, we will step into the FCC logo info next year, because it was next week, next week, on the net. So, because, you were showing that to me, and it was really, really interesting. I did not know in the history of with amateur radio's involvement in in the FCC and all that. So it's really cool. Some great history, and a lot goes into a logo, and we'll learn about that. Hopefully, if you can find it this evening. If not, we'll hit that next week. Okay, so this isn't exactly tied to volunteer examiners, but something similar, and we have somebody from the UK here with us on the net, Jenny, and your ACGD. But I thought I'd throw this in there. This is a little brief news blurb on the ARL's website on the RSGB creates new volunteer observers in the UK. They are replacing its official observers into Radio Observation Service, AROS, with a new entity called the Operating Advisory Service, or OAS. So they did an extensive review of the AROS, or Amateur Radio Observation Service, so their new replacement entity will provide guidance to operators who experience misuse of the amateur band by others. So that's the purpose of that, and it'll be phased in over the next few months with a new team of volunteers who will promote good practice and take a detailed look at how to tackle problems such as on-air harassment, repeater abuse, and pirating of call signs. They will develop written advice that will be published on the OAS pages on the RSGB website. I'm sure you can find more information on their website, but if you go to arrl.org and go to the news section, you can see that little blurb, and there is a link with additional information there. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well. So let me open it back up to the group and see who else has something that you want to mention this evening, news, updates, announcements, or your ham radio experiences over the last week, or up and coming you're looking forward to. AC4YL.
Kilo Mike 4, Lima Alpha Oscar.
Well, good evening, Ruth. It's good to have you here. I was keyed up and talking, and then when I unkeyed, it was still keyed up. So I'm not sure what you all copied. So, Ruth, if you could, I'm not sure when you joined, but if you can let me know if my transmission on the RSGB volunteer observers came through or not, or if it got cut off. That would be most helpful. And then please go ahead with your comment. So KM4LAO, AC4YL in the net.
AC4YL on the net. This is KM4LAO. Good evening, everyone. It's been a couple weeks since I was here, so it's good to be back on the net. Yeah, you're pretty accurate, Kat. We heard, at least over here, I heard everything you said up to when you finished transmitting. As you said, the key kept, the push-to-talk was still on, so it was just dead static for a couple of seconds, and then it stopped. And then I transmitted right after you let up. But at least here in Augusta, Georgia, I heard everything you said just fine. It sounded pretty cool. I'm doing good. I'm having a good week. It's good to be back on the net and connecting with ladies I do know and getting to meet more ladies that I haven't met before. I am now back in Augusta, Georgia. I just started my co-op job, so I'm working full-time, 40 hours a week, in engineering. I'm working at Textron Specialized Vehicles again. Really enjoy my job. I'm working in power sports, which is all sorts of fun, fancy off-road vehicles, and who knows what else, a lot of fun stuff. Amateur radio-wise, I'm doing good. I've got my antenna back up here in at my house here in Augusta. I had fun last weekend chasing some of the IRU HF championships stations and trying to get some of the WRTC. I don't think I ever managed to get on the right time when WRTC was on, but I still had fun trying. I've been doing a lot of practicing recently. Just the reg tuning has gotten a little bit rusty because I've been in classes, haven't had time to practice. So I've been doing a lot of reg 2 copying and Just getting my skill level back up there so I can get back on the air once my antennas are working, make sure they're working, and hoping to take level 3 of CW Academy probably in January because that fits best in my schedule. But I'm having fun with ham radio, fun doing satellite passes and stuff as I have time in between work and sleep and other activities. But I'm doing good. It's good to be here on the net. I'll turn it back to you. This is KM4LAO, Ruth, currently in Augusta, Georgia.
Well, thank you so much, Ruth, for jumping in here this evening. It's wonderful to hear from you. It has been a while, and thanks for the feedback and letting us know that at least my transmission got out. So thank you very much for that. It's really great to hear from you. It sounds like you are keeping busy as always and staying busy with work. And you don't need to sleep. Just play radio, right? But that's great. Glad you were able to play some with the contest and keeping up with your satellite passes. So curious, Ruth, how is the club in Michigan coming along and all your efforts there? We'd like to, maybe you can update us on that.
Yeah, I'm happy to update you on the Kettering University Amateur Radio Club up in Michigan. That is going very well. We had a really good first term during the spring. We had really enjoyed getting some people interested in the club, getting the word out about the club, and getting some interesting presentations from digital modes to the expeditions. So currently, I'm on a work term, and we don't have anybody up at Michigan right now up at Kettering who's licensed and wanting to do the club right now. So while I'm at co-op, I am currently working on organizing, trying to figure out how we can get permission to get on the roof of our academic building, get our antennas checked out. We have a tri-bander on the roof. Probably hasn't been used in a good 20 to 25 years, so I don't really know its condition. There's coax, but we need to get all those replaced because at some point they were cut and removed. I'm trying to get permission, so while I'm on co-op, I can't be there, but I'm hoping I can get permission for some of the students who are interested, and the local ham radio club has offered to do the antenna checking for us. So I'm hoping to get a group of people and get those antennas checked out, get the coax checked out, see what's going on up there. That way we are prepared for when we get back to school in October and can really start setting up the club station, seeing what we want to do for transmitting wise. So that's kind of what we're doing. We've got 2 or 3 other students who are licensed and quite a few more who want to get licensed. So I'm working on the advertising, talking to students when they would be available to do a technician class, that sort of thing. So that's what we've been up to with the club. Just doing a lot of trying to get things moving so that we can get it accomplished before the term starts or once the term begins. Back to you. This is KM4LAO.
All right, fantastic, Ruth. Well, it sounds like you've got several things lined up there to keep them up and going, and it sounds like you got some great support from the local ham club up there, so that really is, no doubt, most helpful. So, fantastic. Going to get a technician class together also. So, you got a lot of things in the works going on in addition to your everyday life. So, hats off to you there, Ruth, for all your hard work and your efforts. And I believe you're also a volunteer examiner. Is that correct, Ruth?
Yes, that is correct. I am a volunteer examiner with W5YI. Yeah, with Gwinnett Amateur Radio Society. I've done it with them. Also, now that my parents' address has officially moved, my mailing address is officially in Virginia, I am filling out the paperwork actually tonight for the VE from AWRL, so I can get that submitted in as well, so I can get that certification as well. That way I can do both. So yeah, I am a volunteer examiner. It's really fun. I mean, with my schedule, I haven't been able to do it as much as I would like, but I'm working on it. I'm going to get to more sessions. Now that I'm on co-op, I have a little more time, and B, once I get ALLVEC, because a lot of clubs I'm in are doing that as well. So back to you. This is KM4LAL.
Well, fantastic, Ruth. That is great. Awesome. Well, we're so glad to hear from you, Ruth. Sounds like you're doing great and staying busy. That is so awesome. All right. Well, let's see what else. I'm just catching up here on the chat here. Okay, so Dawn, I'm going to pass the mic back to you because you opened this can of worms here. We mentioned who played on the radio this past weekend with the IARU HF contest. Dawn, it looks like you have played some radio this weekend. You want to tell us how you did?
This is WA4YL. Did pretty good considering the band conditions were like up and down and crazy. I was getting 5.5 readings, 5.9 readings in certain places, and didn't do too bad on 100 watts and a wire, and it was something else to see, you know. And I worked 51 stations. I don't know exactly how many of them were HQ stations. I'd have to go and look at my logbook to tell you that, and I'm heading there right now. WA4YL.
Well, that's great, Dawn. Sounds like you had a nice, successful run over the weekend. Congratulations. That's a lot of fun. So, awesome. Sounds like your antennas and radio are in good working order and got to make some contact. So, yeah, when you get that number of HQ stations, just jump back in here and let us know. Great, Dawn. All right. Well, let's open it back up to the group here. Who else has something you want to bring up? An announcement, comment, question, ham radio experience? Jump on in and tell us about it. This is AC4YL.
W5MQC.
Please, come on in, Michelle.
I have a question for Christina. Christina, I wanted to know if your daughter was listening in as well on this conversation and if she had Echolink set up. So, Christina, the question is for you. This is W5MQC.
Hi, Michelle. Annie is in the same room with me, my daughter Annie, and I'm about to install Echolink on her phone as well. So soon she'll be on the air with us. Thank you for asking. Back to you, this is Christina.
This is W5MQC. Well, welcome to both of you. I am very glad that you've jumped on the net, and I will see you both in a couple of weeks. This is W5MQC. Back to Catherine, Net Control.
All right. Awesome. Well, we look forward to having Annie with us, Christina. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. In fact, if you got a second, Christina, would you like to come in and just briefly tell us how you got started in amateur radio and what the different aspects of the hobby you enjoy, whether it's contesting or emergency communications or what different types of things you enjoy about amateur radio? We'd love to hear your brief ham radio story, Christina. Please go ahead, AC4YL here.
KG5VGB, Christina. Thank you for asking. I'm a new ham. Actually, I didn't get started getting a license. My daughter Annie, she read a novel. She became interested, so she found a class. I have to drive her to the class. So instead of waiting for her outside, finding something to do, I sat in the class. So we both took the test on the same day. We passed. I had a little extra time, so I passed the general license. She has a technician license. We recently bought a hand transceiver, and I met Michelle at Plano Hamcom. So she was really nice, introduced me to a lot of information, and told me about this Echolink. So I installed, and today is the first time I get on the air. So still have a lot to learn from the other young ladies. So looking forward to seeing you all at the conference next month. Thank you. Back to you.
Well, that is a wonderful story there, Christina. Thank you so much for sharing that with the group here, and it is wonderful to have you here on the net. And thank you, Michelle, for spreading the word, because that's what this net is here for, to encourage YLs in amateur radio, whether you're just getting started or if you've been a long-time ham and you just want to hang out with some gals once a week all together. So we are really glad to have you, Christina. Well, we hope you can come every week. We would certainly love to hear from you. A lot of the gals that are on here this evening are pretty much here every week. We've got a great core group and some folks that come and go as they can, and that is just fine. And so we look forward to helping you any way we can. So if you have questions, please feel free to bring them up here on the net. That's what this group is here for. We help each other learn more about amateur radio and get more involved. So we're so glad to have you here with us, and we look forward to hearing from you on a regular basis, and your daughter as well. So fantastic. Okay, let's open it back up to the group here and see who else has something for the net this evening. Please call now, AC4YL.
VK5YL, Shirley in Adelaide, South Australia.
Well, hello there, Shirley. Come on in and tell us how you're doing, and hopefully your other half is past his shingles bit. Tell us how you're doing, Shirley. It's good to hear from you. VK5YL, AC4YL in the net.
AC4YL, this is VK5YL. Thank you, Catherine. You sound as if you've got a cold, or the microphone is muffled or something. Totally different to what you normally sound. Maybe it's just because I haven't been on for quite some time. Thank you for letting me in, and hi to Jenny. I can see there she's in the UK. It must be very early in the morning for you, Jen. And hello to the new lady I heard as I switched on, KG5VGB. Welcome to the fascinating net that we have on a Friday, run by Catherine and Melanie. So, yeah, OM is still on medication for these horrible shingles. I advise you all to go and have your shingles vaccination, please. I've had shingles twice, but nothing like what my OM has had. He's on painkillers, a fairly high dose of gabapentin, which is usually for, forgotten what it's for, but he does occasionally have to take an endone, maybe a couple, just depends on the pain. But the pain is not going away. He's been to our pain clinic twice, and they're just trying to increase his medication. He has to learn to live with it, apparently, which is not very nice for him. So yeah, if you haven't had your shingles vaccination, ladies, please go and have it. It's not a nice disease at all, and it just out of the blue. You've got no idea it's coming, it just appears, and that's it. So, radio-wise, I've been on the ANZA net on a Monday, that's 14.183, on the 0515 UTC, every day of the week. And I was net control yesterday. My net control day has changed from Monday to Thursday, where I share it with Lynn, VK4SWE. I've been having a wonderful time. Missed out on a contact with the Netherlands yesterday, but anyway, we'll get there. Thanks again for letting me in, Catherine, and hi to everybody out there. I've missed hearing you all. Back to Nat, AC4YL, this is VK5YL with the group.
Well, all right, Shirley. Well, first of all, this evening I'm coming in through RF on the NF4GA repeater mobile, so that's probably why I sound different, and hopefully this is a little bit better. Sometimes I come in a little too hot on the mic, so hopefully this is a little bit better, but that would be why I sound a little different. And sounds like you're doing well. You're hanging in there, Shirley, but I'm so sorry to hear that your OM is just having such a hard time with this shingles bout. So I really sincerely hope that all gets better soon. But my goodness, he's been dealing with this for quite some time. So please send our best wishes to him from the group here, and we hope that he feels better really soon. And please keep us updated, Shirley. And we appreciate having you here with us. We know you can't make it every week, and it's always such a pleasure to hear from you. So thanks so much for jumping in here. Okay, let me open it back up to the group here. Who else has updates or news or anything that you want to share with the group? Please call now.
KT9YL.
Well, good evening, Ann. Look forward to hearing from you. One thing I just want to comment real quick on the side here while Shirley's on. I just want to give a hats off and a big thank you to Shirley and the ALARA group for allowing us to use this conference server for this net every week, because it has really been such a help. And ladies, you can get on this conference anytime. If there's not a net going on, please feel free to give a shout out and see if any YLs in the listening area can copy you and can jump in and say hello. But this conference is for YLs, so wherever you are. And Shirley is current president of the ALARA group right now. So thank you, Shirley, to you and the Australian Ladies Amateur Radio Association for letting us use this conference. It's been such a joy and a big help to keep this net alive and open and having so many users and ladies that can join us on a weekly basis. Thank you very much for that. Ann, please go ahead, KC9YL. It's good to hear from you. Over to you.
Thank you, Catherine, and glad I finally was able to get on the net. I retired the 30th of June, and boy, it's just kind of been a whirlwind after that. Just wanted to let people know I am actually coming to the convention. I made my plane reservations this morning and sent my reservation in time, but just was kind of a last-minute decision. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it. I do have someone that has offered to share a room, but she's checking. She's not sure if she's got a single or a double. So I am just seeing if anybody else, in case it doesn't work out with her, hopefully it will. But I'd be willing to share a room with someone. I just did check Travelocity and the Sheridan website, and it looks like they are sold out. So I was planning on making a reservation on my own tonight, and that's not going to work out. So just wanted to mention that. If anybody knows of anybody that's looking for a roommate, then I can use them as a backup plan. Back to next. This is KC9YL.
Okay, very good. And Michelle, do you have any suggestions for Ann, or is this the best way for her to reach out? Or I'm not sure if maybe you have another suggestion on how she might have some success there in finding someone that might be willing or able to share a room. Michelle, if you have anything for Ann, would you like to come on back in and pass a message?
This is W5MQC. And if you don't get any results, send me an email tomorrow afternoon. If you haven't heard from anybody by then, I will go ahead and do a group email to the entire list and see if maybe there's somebody that is not on these nets that has booked a room. I know that the Renaissance is right across the street. There's another hotel, but I do think the Sheridan, out of all of them, when we did a lot of our legwork in deciding which hotel, was the most affordable. But we'll come up with something for you, I am sure about that. So just let me know by tomorrow afternoon, and I will email everybody. Back to you, Catherine. This is W5MQC.
Okay, thank you very much, Michelle. So there you go, Ann. I'm sure that you gals will work something out, and you'll be able to go and have a great time there, Ann. So thanks so much, Michelle, and thank you, Ann. It's good to hear from you, and congratulations on your retirement. So that's exciting. So, jump in while you can, because before you know it, your day's already full. And so you'll wonder how you had time to get work in there. Everything else going on. All right, very good. Anybody else have something for the group this evening? Please call now.
WA4YL.
All right there, Dawn. You got your number HQ stations? Go ahead, Dawn. What's up?
Yes, I got 10 HQ stations, and all the rest were just random, and I got 51 over the 2 days. And I will also be in Huntsville in August, and hopefully I'll see some of you there. And I also plan on working some more stations this weekend. WA4YL.
Oh, right. Fantastic, Dawn. So, did you just operate on sideband, or did you do any digital? And what bands did you primarily make your contacts on?
20 meters, 40 meters, and FP8.
All right, there, Dawn. With FT8, did you operate on 20 and 40, or just one of those? What did you make your? Which band did you make your FT8 contacts on?
$20 and $40 meters, respectively, on both SSB and FT8.
Okay, awesome, Dawn. Well, thank you very much. Very cool. Congratulations. You had a nice, successful run this weekend. That is great. All right, very good. So just on a little bit more news updates, a lot of folks, at least here in the States, used to get a lot of your parts that you needed to quick run to a retail establishment. A lot of folks would run it to Radio Shack and pick up some parts. So it's an interesting article. Of course, they closed down pretty much all of its company-owned retail outlets, but their website is still up. But interesting turn of events, it looks like they're planning to open what they call express stores within Hobbytown, USA locations. So that should be quite interesting. So they're looking to possibly carve out a presence about 500 square feet in all of them, and they'll have signage for that with the Hobbytown locations that have that. They'll have Radio Shack notation on their or signage on their stores. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. That was on the ARL News blurb as well for those of you that would get some equipment, some parts, resistors, and other things from Radio Shack. You might be able to start finding some of their stuff in Hobbytown, USA locations. So anyway, that was just kind of an interesting article, blurb there on the ARL News. All right, anybody else have something for the group? Jump on in, AC4YL.
Okay, this is AC4YL here, and good evening again, ladies. I hope the audio is decent. We're coming on RF, doing a little bit of mobile workout here, if you will, a little mobile net. And, you know, we decided to start doing this because it's, well, it's summertime, and for those who don't know, Catherine and I participated a lot in the 2016 ARL year-long event, National Parks on the Air. And we have so much fun, you know, being outside and working mobile, and, you know, things comes up, you know, coax does weird things, antennas won't tune, you know, all kinds of fun things. And it was really interesting because it was quite a learning experience for us. And even doing something like, you know, an Echolink net outside, it's like, oh, do we have something, we got a pad, a pen, you know, something to write on. It's all kind of by the seat of your pants, and I think that's what keeps it kind of interesting, as opposed to doing, you know, the formula, if you will, of amateur radio. And we touched on this a little bit the last couple of weeks. We were talking about different antennas and things like that, and when we were first looking to do National Parks on the Air, we started earlier in 2015 before the Huntsville Ham Fest, because there's a contest that goes on the same weekend as the Huntsville Ham Fest every year. And we were looking at different ways to do portable antennas. And I mean, there's the, you know, screwdriver antennas and all that, but it's a little expensive to get some of this equipment. We were really looking for something quite inexpensive. And a week or two ago, we talked about what we had used, which was basically two, I think you can say ham sticks now. Ham stick used to be a copywritten name, brand name. HF sticks, they're single band sticks with what they call stinger tool adjustable whips, and you get them tuned. Sometimes you have to actually cut off parts of the stinger and get them tuned. They work actually quite well, and I don't know how many of you get the hankering to do a little something different, but I would definitely encourage y'all to try a little portable up. Oh, you let this stop for reset. This is AG4YL. But I can't tell you how fun and freeing and wonderful it is to actually get outside and do something a little bit different, and you don't have to spend a lot of money to do it. If you have, you don't have to have a fancy, you know, KX, an Elecraft KX, small, anything like that. You can, we lugged around a TS 450 sat, Kenwood, like 15, 20 pounds, and a lead-acid car battery, all over the Southeast, and operated, and it was fun. You can do a lot of stuff with very little, and I really encourage you all to check it out. There's a program some of you may not be aware of. Some of you, you know, you're like, all right, this is the time to go to the bathroom or go make my dinner for the evening. But and that's okay. You can go and do that. But check out the Worldwide Flora and Fauna, WWFF. They started out in Europe. It's a worldwide program, and their motto is "Make nature your pet." Well, the U.S. arm is KFF, and if you check out, a lot of time you hear about Parks on the Air, POTA, and you hear about KFF. They're separate now. They used to not be, but they're separate entities. There's Parks on the Air, and there's KFF. KFF is the official U.S. arm of WWFF, Worldwide Flora and Fauna. And you can go out to state parks and historic entities. It's similar to National Parks on the Air, the ARRL event in 2016. But it's a lot of fun. You can print out certificates and do stuff like that. And I'm going to go ahead and let it drop again. Okay, AG4YL returning. But it's a lot of fun. You can just get out and set up something portable, and half the fun is putting, kind of your portable operation together. It doesn't take much, doesn't take fancy stuff, it doesn't take, a lot of money, but it's quite gratification. We even have activated several places just with a mag mount and one of these whips, 20-meter whip, stuck to the top of the car in a mag mount, and, worked all over the place and got lots of activation. So I just wanted to kind of bring that up because it is so much fun, and being out here just doing the net mobile is really a lot of fun. And for those that are newer hams, ham radio, it's about experimentation. It's about doing some different things. It's about trying different things, seeing if they work. And if they don't work, figure out why. And to me, at least, that's, half the fun of ham radio is figuring out what does and doesn't work and why it does or doesn't work and trying out different things and making them better. So that's all I had for the net. I'll go ahead and turn this back to Catherine AC4L unless there's somebody out there that has anything to add or wants to talk about wanting to get into portable or has any questions or whatever. You can go to my QRZ page. It's QRZ.com and look up my call sign, Alpha Golf 4 Yankee Lima, and there's a picture of the antenna that we used most of that year to activate for all those national parks, and then we've done some stuff for KFF. So check it out. It's really kind of cool, and I'm going to go ahead and pass this back over to Catherine and Nanette. This is AG4YL.
Okay, very good, Lonnie. Well, thanks so much for that. And, we had a lot of fun doing some portable operations, and I second that. If you've never done one, check out the WWFF and KFF to participate and get out there and work in some parts. And it's a lot of fun. You can experiment with different antennas and try some new things. And, it does, like you said, you don't have to have a lot of money to set up a mobile station. So it's a lot of fun. Simple, basic wire antenna works just fine. And one of our hams here in the local club has a saying, any antenna is better than no antenna. So if you can get out and make some contacts, then you got it. So just so you gals know, for those of you that may or may not be curious, the mobile radio I'm using here in my car is an ICOM. It's an old IC207H 2-meter 440. It's an older model. They don't make it anymore, but it works. Power out is 50 watts on the high end and 5 on the low end on 2 meters and 35 on the high and 5 on the low on 440. So it's a good little radio. I got it for a good price from a family friend. So it's been a great radio. I've had it for a while, but I will tell you, on any mobile rig, I wouldn't recommend running it on 50 for very long because they tend to run really hot on the high power. So anyway, let me pause or reset here. Okay, as far as an antenna goes, all you need is I have a quarter wave mag mount antenna that runs right here on the car, so works just fine. So for those of you that are newer hams and you get your first setup, a lot of folks start out with basically you get an HT or a handheld, and if you do end up buying a handheld, it doesn't matter what brand, what model, find the one that you like, hunt around, find one that you like. You can get them really inexpensive, fairly inexpensive, and expensive. So, you know, find the model that you like, but do encourage you, if you're going to use it, you know, mobile in your car, do not use the built-in antenna in the car. It's not going to work, okay? Get you a mag-mount antenna outside of the car that will work, and you'll be able to connect up to some repeaters there. And you may have to buy an adapter to connect it up, but do a little research and always talk to local hams. They're more than willing to help you out or bring up questions here on the net. Also, you can raise your questions on the WildOpNet Facebook group or the wildopgroups.io page as well. Okay, Nisi has a comment in the chat about the BitX40. So, Nisi, do you want to jump in and mention that, talk about any of that with the group here? K1ULN, AC4YL in the group.
April in the chat group, nsarl.dodropin.org. April asked me if I knew of a kit for HF, and the first thing that came to mind was the 40-meter Pixie, which Carol said last week it's good, but yeah, it's not anything real special. I think it's good for somebody to get experience soldering and putting together parts, and it actually works. It really does work. But the BITX40, that I don't have one. I haven't put one of those together. It's the subject of the August 2018 QST. So I was asking if anybody had put one together. I'm very curious. So back to NetCat. Thank you so much for running the net.
All right, awesome, Nisi. Right, we were talking about some kits. Get started in kit building projects, transceivers, and sometimes just receivers you can build too. And I think what Carol was talking about last week with the Pixie was it works fairly well, but I think her comment was she didn't recommend it for somebody just getting started in kit building, because I think there might be some other more simple ones out there, I think, but I could be wrong on that, but I think that was her comment on the Pixie. But that's a great question. So if anybody here on the net has some experience with some kit building, I know Dawn's done some with Joe Eisenberg, but if anybody has any recommendations for some good kit builds that are fairly simple to start out with, for anybody that hasn't done one before, please jump on in and share that with the group, because I think there's an interest here on kit building projects.
Hey, this is AC4YL. I think I have it. Yep, looks like I do. I think the comment from Carol last week was on the crystals that come with the Pixie was in the extra part of the spectrum. I think that was Carol's comment on that, Catherine D. But the kit and the experience of doing that kit was fine. She said that the crystals that come with it are on a different part of the spectrum that, unless you had an extra class license, you couldn't access. But I think that I've heard about the BitX40, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see what the article is going to be. It looks like Ann, KC9YL, gotta go. Thanks for joining us, and 33 to you, Ann. Have a great week, and hopefully we'll see you on next week, and have a good one. 33. But I don't have any experience. I don't know much about the BitX, so anybody out there doing the kits like Catherine asked for? I know there's got to be some more people that have been playing around with some HF kits out there. Surely there is somebody, correct? Maybe? I'll help Catherine to put out the call. Anybody know anything about what they recommend for kits, or if they have the crystals, or if you can get different crystals for different frequencies? Anybody got any more information? This is AG4YL.
Victor Echo 3, Bravo Hotel Golf.
Please, go ahead, April.
Oh, Victor Echo 3, Bravo Hotel Golf returning. I think that the rules for building kits and so on are probably a little bit more strict in Canada. One of my, the one YL that was interested in building, she said, hey, I'm not going to buy radios, I'm going to build my own. Our Elmer had said to her, well, let's get you your basic with advanced first, or basic with honors, I should say, first, and then we can talk about your advanced. So I think that, I don't know if I'm not saying I wouldn't build one. I'm just wondering if if he has to do it for me, because he's got the advanced. I mean, he's been involved in radio since the tube days, so he actually, has had a lot of experience with that. And we were just talking about it because, budget-wise, it's probably a better idea for me. And I mean, I know people who can build things electronically. Like my daughter is an electrical engineer, and she has done before, I think. Don't know how much experience she has, if I could get her a schematic for things. But, it's one way to get something that I can use. But also, I'm not sure, like I said, if I'm actually allowed to use something like that. I don't know how they find out anyway, but, it's just one of those things that I could throw out there. But I honestly, that's my question is, well, what I did this summer was I went up north, and I took my handheld with me, and where I was on a lake, but it was a very long, skinny lake, and even though I was on water, I could see that there were hills rising all around. And since I only had my 2 meters, I needed to pause for reset. Two-meter handheld with me, I wanted to try and get on to a local net, and I had forgotten my programming cable, which was really dumb of me, but I had my a 5/8 mag mount antenna for my 2-meter that I had taken with me to try to, I tried to program in the local repeater just to see what would happen. I didn't really get anybody. I listened in a bit to see what was on the frequencies, and didn't really get anything. So I don't know if that's just my lack of experience, or if I just didn't have a powerful enough antenna. I mean, let's face it, my handheld's only 5 watts. So that's kind of part of the discussion. I just thought I'd have some fun with it and see what would happen. And oh well. So I'm just throwing that out there for whoever wants to jump in, because I just, that was I'm so new to the hobby. But anyways, this is VE3BHG, back to the net.
This is AG4YL here. Yes, I'm just going to jump in on your first comment regarding the licensing. I did look into licensing the Canadian license required, and the different levels of them, and I thought it was quite interesting how they differ. It differs a great deal between Canada and the U.S. as far as the licensing levels. And I thought it was kind of interesting that it was that to build your own, you had to have a higher qualification. I think, like you mentioned, the advanced qualification added to your basic allows you to build and operate your own transmitting equipment. Of course, you could probably build it, you just couldn't operate it, because, as you said, who's to know? But building and operating your own transmitting equipment, you do need the advanced qualification. I thought that was kind of interesting. And, of course, running higher power and operating your own repeater, and that takes that, it's similar to our amateur extra here in the United States. There's, radio theory and that kind of thing going on there. So I did notice that, and you would need to hold an advance to build and operate that equipment. You could have an advance build your equipment for you, and then you could operate it as long as you're within the rest of your restrictions of the class of license that you have. But only advance can build and operate, or build and put on the air equipment in Canada, which is kind of interesting. It is a lot of fun getting out there and trying to work repeaters and work with HTs, and it's amazing what you can do even if you're kind of surrounded, depending on where your repeaters are. It's always fun. There's a lot of learning, but to me it's just so much fun and getting out there and trying new things, and I love that you did that out there. As far as the programming cable goes, I'll admit I'm a bad girl. I don't know how to program my HT, although I don't use it very much, but I don't know how to program offsets and everything. And they always say, yeah, you should know how to do that without using a programming cable. Anyway, I'm going to let it drop. This is AG4YL returning. So yeah, it's a bad thing that I don't know how to do that, and so if I didn't have a programming cable or a computer or any of that stuff, I have no idea what I'm doing. Anyway, that's kind of the comment that I have. I thought it was interesting that you bring that up. Yeah, YouTube is your friend. I love that comment up on here. That's pretty awesome. Michelle put some interesting links up here in the Echo Link chat about the Pixie, and that's awesome. Nisi knows how to make mods to Pixies and run them, and I'm certain you could probably put it in different crystals that would allow you to work frequencies that are in the general spectrum, as opposed to the or even the tech. We're talking CW here, so get down into the CW.
Okay, so this is AG4YL returning. It's the NF4GA repeater has a stopping point for the net, and it automatically disconnects. So I apologize for suddenly dropping out of there. Just noticed that the NF4GA repeater was no longer on the Echo Link list. It just dropped. So fortunately, I hit my transmit button on my phone here, so I'm coming in through the phone. But it is rolling to the end of the net, so maybe we can explore this more next week. It might be an interesting topic to talk about. Maybe Nisi, you can talk a little bit more about the modifications you've done to the Pixies and whether or not different crystals are available. Operating CW in the tech frequencies and so forth and so on. But since we are past 9:30, and I'm certain there's a lot of you that have other things that you'd like to get to, I'm going to go ahead and pass this back over to Catherine and back to the rest of the net. This is AG4YL.
Okay, very good, Lonnie. Well, thanks, everybody. And we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. What we'd like to do is thank Lauren, KC9GHV, for live streaming and recording this net and making it all available through YouTube whenever she's able to do so. We'd also like to thank ALARA for the use of this Echo Link conference node, and all who are linked and listening for your ongoing support of this net. This is Catherine, AC4YL. We're going to go ahead and close out the YL OpNet and return the ALARA conference node back to normal use. thanks so much, Ladies 33. We hope to catch y'all next week, and we'll pick up some more on kit building. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care. Have a great week. AC4YL.